13 of their last 17. That dugout has been noticeably loose all weekend.
Definitely having a lot of fun after that first game, almost getting a comeback win, and now the guys are having a blast in the dugout. And it really hasn't just because they're winning. We've seen this kind of antics even when they were down and they were making the comeback on Thursday.
In the foreground, you have Yasiel Puig juggling a carton of gumballs, and in the background you have Clayton Kershaw kicking someone. Pink lineup card, pink shoes, pink socks, pink bats, as we honor mothers everywhere and honor those battling breast cancer.
And they're kind of acting like children down there in the dugout.
Sure are. They could use their moms right now to set them straight. Beautiful day. I mean, they had hail here earlier this week. They had a rain out, not even really a rain out, a hail out on Monday. And we've had nothing but light blue skies above for the 4 games.
You're going to have to help each other with pop-ups and fly balls today. This sky is just one consistent color where the ball might just get lost a little bit.
Dodgers dropped the opener 10-7, and boy, through 4 innings, it looked like this could be a long weekend. The Rockies led 10-0 against Hyun-Jin Ryu. But the Dodgers scored those 7 runs late, gathered some momentum, took it into the second game where they won 6-2 behind Clayton Kershaw, and then last night a 4-0 win. Their 100th at Coors Field.
It could be a really happy flight to San Francisco. You win 3 out of 4 here, led by 3 left-handers, Kershaw, Wood, and now Urias taking the mound. And this bullpen of the Dodgers has been absolutely outstanding.
Well, here comes Senzatella and the Rockies. Best record on this date in franchise history at 23-15. Those 23 wins tied with the Nationals for the most in the league. How about the Dodger lineup now, brought to you by Honda. Jock Peterson, after having yesterday off from the starting group, is in there leading off. Then Seager, Turner, Bellinger, which seems to be the group moving forward against right-handed starters. Grandal back in there hitting 5th. Chris Taylor, after hitting leadoff yesterday, back down in the 6th spot. Utley's in there at 1st, and Yasiel Puig is in right, batting 8th. Senzatella, part of this young rotation, 22 years old. He is 5-1 with a 286, and pitching in remembrance of his mother today. His mom, Nydia, passed away last summer at the age of 52 after a battle with breast cancer, so his first Mother's Day without her.
A little bit of extra adrenaline for him, and he has a big fastball that will help. Averages around 94, 95 miles an hour. A breaking ball that he mixes in, and a changeup also, but he relies heavily on the fastball. And his delivery is not one that you would say is mystifying to hitters. So the ball, I think, is very heavy, and he just loves to compete.
And during warm-ups before each start, pays tribute to his mother. A little bit extra special tribute for him today. He always carries with him a gold rosary that she gave him, pitches with it in his back pocket, and he plans on taking the ball from his major league debut, and when he goes back home to Venezuela, putting it at her gravesite. So an emotional day for him as he pitches remembering his mother, Nydia, who loved watching him more than anything. Said no matter how big the crowd was, could always hear her voice piercing through it. In Venezuela, she never did get to see him pitch in the major leagues, but he knows she's watching today. Jock Peterson to lead it off for the Dodgers. And away we go in this series finale with strike 1. Jock had 1 AB yesterday, coming in as a defensive sub. In the series, he's 3 for 10.
Kerwin Danley holds him up right there, making sure Jock was ready.
1 ball and 1 strike. Senzatella beat the Cubs on Tuesday, making his 8th major league start. A guy that had only made 7 starts at Double-A. 2-1.
His first 7 starts put him in some pretty good company. 5-1 with an ERA under 3 puts him in there with like Jared Weaver, Lance Lynn. Yu Darvish started out hot like this.
3-1 on Peterson. 5 seasons in the minors after the Rockies signed him out of Venezuela. Only 34 innings for Senzatella above A ball. Came last year when he made those 7 starts. Dealt with a shoulder strain for much of the year. Pumps a 3-1, and Jock looks at a corner strike, 3-2. But much of last year for Senzatella was also spent away from baseball, back home at his mother's side in her final days. Peterson leading off for the Dodgers, and we'll do a 3-2 again.
Dodgers like to hit fastballs, and they like to face pitchers that don't change speeds drastically. And so Senzatella, for me, is a guy that they can really attack, and I think they will attack his fastball throughout the day.
Jock's fouled a pair. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes. And an 8-pitch AB to begin the night, or the day, very clearly.
Senzatella doesn't strike out a lot of guys either. He really, his success has come from weak contact.
Love the way this guy competes. His 8th pitch is upstairs, and Peterson really earns a walk to open the game. Corey Seager now. Still trying to get back into a groove. Had a couple of hits in game 2 of this series. Then an 0 for 4 last night.
When he's a normal hitter, he has kind of the Kershaw-itis where you just expect so much out of him.
Sure.
Corey just has raised the bar so high for himself, just like Clayton, that you expect him to go 2 for 4, home run, a couple RBIs in almost every game. So when he goes and actually acts like a normal hitter, people don't worry about him, but it's like the expectations are still there.
It's 1-1, and he did nothing to lower those expectations in April. Hit .319 so far in May, though. 209.
Jock has a very aggressive lead at first.
One ball and 2 strikes. You're right. Senzatella hardly even giving him a look.
Jock is not a base stealer. He's fleet of foot, but he has trouble finding and reading pitchers as far as getting a good jump. And it's not that he doesn't have confidence over there. He just hasn't had much success, but very aggressive length of lead right there. It's a good half step more than everybody. Whoa.
Inside, and it's 2-2. Back in his minor league days, Orel, in his last year in the PCL, he had more than 30 steals. He's never been a stolen base guy since entering the bigs. Even a wider lead this time. He's got to be going, doesn't he? 3-2.
I don't know why he's out there. Sometimes guys will take a extra long lead to draw the throw, so it's called a one-way lead. So you take the extra long lead, but as soon as the pitcher moves, you're going back to first base. When you're stealing, you want to be in a place where you're comfortable, where you can actually almost break to second, and you don't worry about getting back if you make that flinch. It's the longest lead in the big leagues I've seen this year.
He runs this time, and Seager fouls it off.
Maybe Senzatella, his scouting report says he has never thrown to first.
The Dodgers always dialed into those scouting reports as far as pitchers' moves and the success rates on holding runners. They see something with Senzatella allowing Peterson to have a whopping lead. He runs again, and it's fouled again.
The only time I've seen Dodgers take leads this long are against John Lester.
Exactly right.
And we've seen even like Kike get off even another step or two and just bounce around against Lester, but never go. I'm like, what are you doing taking a lead that long? You know he's not going to throw, and then you don't even break.
Peterson, we've seen get into a sprinter's stance against John Lester.
Yeah.
Three steps, three shuffles.
He's out there.
Runs again. Seager hits a towering fly ball to right field. Gonzalez back, running out of room. Corey Seager with a skyscraping home run. And a happy Mother's Day gift for his mom, Jody, makes it 2-0 here in the first inning.
We've had Carlos Gonzalez in this series fake out Cody Bellinger in right field, and this one, I am totally fooled by the launch angle. This ball just carries and carries and carries, and you know what? Corey's telling you with his body language right there that he got a really good piece of it.
First home run in May, and Turner looks at a strike.
Coming on a 3-2 pitch, the 8th pitch of this at bat. Seen a lot of this young man on the mound. First at bat, but a lot of experience in those 8 pitches. Launched it out of here.
It's 1-1. You know you're a StatCast junkie when you can't wait to see the launch angle on it.
And
I can't wait to see the launch angle on it. I'll tell you that much. 1-2.
Justin Turner up there, and he loves to hit here in Coors Field after he watched that ball carry out of here with Corey Seager's home run.
He drives one to center. That's sinking in front of Blackman and down for a base hit. So the first 3 have reached against Senzatella, who's been one of the best pitchers in the NL so far this year.
A lot of foul balls from Jock Peterson, and he draws the walk, that working walk, and then some foul balls from Corey Seager, and then he squared one up. And now Justin Turner, he just kind of served that one out there to center field.
Brings up Bellinger. Launch angle on Seager's home run, 42 degrees.
So that the sweet spot is 25.
25 to 30.
And 42, yeah, that is a skyscraper.
So now we've got to check and see where that ranks among Dodger home runs and across the league this year.
What kind of exit velocity because of the Coors Field factor?
Let's see, the exit velocity on it was 108.
That's pretty solid. 108 and 42 at Mile High get you a home run.
Bellinger fouls it hard off of the mask of Garneau. He's behind 0-2. And look at the Land Rover Performance Spotlight. It's a matchup of 2 of the brightest young players in the game this year.
One pitcher, one hitter, and both have gotten off to very hot starts. Quite a matchup that's going on right now. These youngsters.
Inside, it's 1-2.
And the guy taking the mound for the Dodgers is younger than both of them. Still.
Yeah. Always will be.
Not younger in experience, but younger in age.
Runner at first, nobody out, and a 1-2 to Bellinger is swung on and missed for strike 3. He's been retired 9 times in this series, all on strikeouts.
Pretty much a hanging breaking ball. If he launches that for a home run, he'll say, oh, I hit a mistake right there. Mistake on the swing.
1 gone, and Yasmani Grandal swats one through the hole, base hit. And his hitting streak now 9 games. Look at Justin Turner go first to third on a base hit to left center field. Well, Desmond took his time getting up with the ball, and Turner read it well.
No assumption in that base running right there. You can just go station to station, take it easy, day game after a night game. No, Justin Turner takes a read right there when that ball's 15, 20 feet from Desmond. He says, oh, I will just continue on. Between the way Desmond attacked it and the angle that he had to run to get to it, Turner knew he was going to have to whirl and throw, even if he picked it up in time.
So Senzatello came in with a 286 earned run average, has walked one. He's given up 2 singles and a long home run to Corey Seager. He's dominated just about everybody, but you, after watching some of him, said, you know what, I think we got a shot against him today. Why?
I just saw the fastball not as much life as I would think it would have at 94, 95. And the breaking ball for me looked like something that they were going to be able to read. And so for me, it was all about the Dodgers being disciplined and making him throw strikes. And that's what they're doing so far. Jock Peterson set the tone.
Chris Taylor, the batter now, trying to add on here in the first inning. And by the way, as we saw Jock Peterson get the huge lead and wondered about Senzatello holding runners, there have been 2 steal attempts against him, both successful. That's bunted. They'll come home with it, and they have Turner and a rundown. Now they go to third, a double play. And so the Dodgers run themselves out of a potentially lopsided first inning. They do get 2 on the home run from Seager. Onto the bottom half. Julio Urias takes it when you come back.
Home run, but a very curious play there to end the inning. Chris Taylor swinging the bat really well. The Dodgers have shown this in this series a few times. Safety squeeze / suicide squeeze. Turner is tagged out, trying to stay in there long enough. Yasmani trying to get back over to third. And remember, you really don't want to make the first or third out at third base. You're already in scoring position at second, so it makes it curious on the bunt attempt and also with the base running.
2-0 lead for Dave Roberts on the Corey Seager home run, and the Rockies coming up with this lineup brought to you by Honda. Charlie Blackmon's back in there after his scheduled day off yesterday, and that slides LeMahieu back down to his natural 2 spot. Same with Desmond, who hit second yesterday, now back down to 5th. Gonzalez has had a huge series. Valleca's started every game with Trevor Story banged up. 4th start for Julio Urias, who's given up just 2 runs in 17 innings.
He really is on his game. He's being more aggressive with all of his pitches, really pounding the strike zone, living down by the knees, but when he elevates, it has a purpose.
His first one of the day to Charlie Blackmon, splits the plate, strike 1. Urias took a no-hitter into the 7th inning Tuesday against the Pirates before Andrew McCutchen broke it up with a ground rule double. It's fouled off and it's 0-2. Julio is the youngest pitcher to take a no-hitter into the 7th inning since 1986. when a guy named Ed Correa did it. Correa only pitched 15 more games in the majors, had serious arm problems. The line finished 6 1/3 for Arias, 1 run on 1 hit. It's the longest outing in his short big league career.
Charlie Blackmon, the last Rocky to have an extra base hit. He really shut them down between Alex Wood, the Dodger bullpen, Clayton Kershaw. It was all the way back in the 3rd inning on Friday. The Rockies got more than a single.
And the dirt 1 and 2. You know, the Rockies, we talked about that start they got off to against Arias, Ryu, scored 10 runs in the first 4 innings, but the last 23 innings the Dodgers have limited them to 2.
The bullpen is throwing a shutout in this series. 9 innings, 6 hits, 11 Ks, a walk. Feel pretty good if you can get 6 innings out of your starter and hand it over to the Dodger bullpen right now.
Blackmon loops one, right center field. Peterson comes on and has to play it on a bounce. So a leadoff single for Charlie Blackmon.
Jock Peterson throws with the other hand. He might have a shot at catching this because you're about 6 foot closer with the wingspan, but right here it's going to have to be a backhanded dive, and that's really, really hard. Jock playing it up, making sure it's only a single.
Runner at first for DJ LeMahieu. Ball 1. And so Arias had the no-hit stuff, at least the line would say, but listening to him and Yasmani Grandal talk about it after the game, he really didn't have no-hit stuff. Grandal said he had no secondary pitches working. Comes inside and it's 2-0. He said he had the option of working with a fastball, which was good. He was locating that for the most part. But then just hoping when he called his secondary that Julio would at least be near the zone.
Yeah, we saw him fall behind a lot of hitters in that game, but then be able to battle back, and it was the fastball command that kept it going. I think he continues to learn and grow. Talking to Rick Honeycutt a lot about his development. They're tightening up a lot of different things. You can't do all of it at once. It would be confusing for anybody, and then you just start to get lost. So you work on little edges here and there in the side works.
LeMahieu drags a bunt up the third base line, and it rolls and dead ends on the strike. Absolutely perfect for an infield single.
The Dodgers are up 2-0, but the Rockies are now up 1-0 as far as bunt attempts. Dodger bunt attempt turned into a double play. This one turns into a rally. Really sets the table here in the first inning.
2 on, nobody out. Nolan Arenado coming up. All-star third baseman, 2 for 2 against Urias in previous meetings, doubled in both ABs. Strike 1. He did not see Alex Wood well last night. Went 0 for 3. Wood struck him out twice. Although the same could be said for just about anybody in the Rockies lineup. Wood with his second consecutive double-digit strikeout performance. Struck out 11 against the Pirates, then struck out 10 last night in only 6 innings. 1-1.
He has an opposite opinion than Julio Urias on his no-hit attempt. Alex Wood said he had everything working. He said, I had fastball command down. I could go up the ladder. My changeup was really good. I had a good feel for it. And the breaking ball for a strike and back foot breaking balls. He felt good about every pitch.
Popped off the end of the bat. Utley in foul ground, running out of territory and can't get there. Unfamiliar spot for him at first, and these bright blue skies made that a tough play.
There's a little bit of swirling wind up there too. Corey Seager's ball, the home run, looked like it was on a cushion of air, and that pop-up right there caught some air. Looks like at different heights it gets hit by the wind in different ways, and right there at the end the spin just takes over.
Fourth start for Chase at first. Stopgap right now with the injuries the Dodgers have, foremost being Adrian Gonzalez, who's set to begin a rehab assignment soon. And then the trickle down of Andrew Tolles going down in left means Bellinger is slid out there. And Utley the first baseman for now against right-handed starters. Urias to Arenado with a 1-2 pitch. Pounded to left into the corner. Blackmon scores. It ricochets by Bellinger for a moment. He gathers it into the infield in time to keep LeMahieu put at third. But an RBI double from Arenado makes it 2-1.
This wants to go up and in and throws it right down the middle. Arenado makes him pay with the pink bat. Nice base running by the Rockies, not running into an out here with no outs in the first, second, and third.
Mark Reynolds now. Dodgers have done a pretty good job against Reynolds in this series. But he's still third in the National League in home runs and RBIs this year. Strike one. Hold the string to get it.
This is where Julio really needs to think about just getting the team in the dugout with a tie game. Don't let this inning completely spiral out of control.
Strike two. Back-to-back off speed.
Well, you've got a couple pitches to really take the risk for the strikeout. You don't need to throw him strikes right now. But if this count gets back to 2-2, you've got to think about just getting it out. But right now you can actually aim for the strikeout.
Grandal calls for a high fastball, and Reynolds lays off it. Ball one.
Little check swing right there tells me the down and in breaking ball would probably work.
Looks like they're going up again and missing. 2-2.
Still there if you want it. Swung and missed at it. He looks anxious to put the ball in play. Make it look like a strike, end up a ball.
Went to it, skipped it over his feet, full count. Second and third, nobody out. Rockies already won in the bank on a double from Arenado. And after he got ahead of Reynolds, it's now full. Floated to center. That will drop in a base hit. Arenado on LeMahieu's heels. Throw to the plate, cut off. And the Rockies, just like that, lead 3-2.
Another softly hit ball that falls in. The first hit of the game. Charlie Blackmon off of Urias was softly hit. This is a changeup. He gets him out in front of. Arenado does a nice piece of base running. Look at, he's off right there before that ball even is descending. He scores very easily.
So the first four on the Rockies order have gotten hits against Urias and Ian Desmond to the plate. Still nobody out.
Arenado's ball is the only one that's been really hit hard. LeMahieu was a bunt. Blackmon was a blooper. Reynolds a blooper.
Coming inside with the first one to Desmond. And he misses down, ball 1. Desmond in this series 4 of 11. Drove in 2 in the opener. The first-year Rocky. Been active for less than a month now. He injured his hand during spring training, had surgery on it, and then was activated at the end of April. Off of the hand, should be 2. There's 1 and 2. A double play restores order here in the first.
Get in the dugout and you'll receive some encouragement from Rick Honeycutt and Dave Roberts, I'm sure, about the fact that the balls weren't hit that hard. Come on, let's go deeper. This game is going to go a long way, and we want you in there.
Carlos Gonzalez has been, in a lot of ways, the Rockies' best hitter in this series. With a 5 for 12 line. He had really struggled before the Dodgers got here. It's 1-0. Went 2 for 24 to open May. Guy in the final season in his contract with the Rockies. He's been here for a decade. Now, many think that he could be part of a trade around the deadline. It's corked foul and it's 1-1. Now the interesting thing is, does that remain the fact if they're in the race? Do they still try to flip him maybe for some more pitching, some other spot, because they're pretty deep when it comes to outfielders. Even right now they have Parra on the bench, and that's without David Dahl active. He's on the DL. Bounce to third. Turner picks it, moving away, able to make the play and gets it dug out by Utley. So the inning comes to a close, but a very Coors Field-like first inning. 3-2. We look at our Volkswagen replay. Justin Turner continues to play Gold Glove caliber defense at third in this series.
Some fielders can go well to one direction or the other. Justin Turner does it all. He can go left, right, in, charge it. And he's got great hands, and he's got a great sense of what's going on in the game once he makes a dive. These plays here today were fantastic. That one took an odd hop on him.
Utley against Senzatella. Bottom third of the Dodge order here in the second. Fastball misses away. It's 1-0. At this point, it's good to have Chase back in there with the way he's swinging it. 7 for his last 11 with a pair of walks. So he's been on base 9 of his last 13 plate appearances. 1-1.
Senzatella already up at 28 pitches. First 2 hitters in the Dodgers order took 16 pitches to get through them.
2-1.
Start off the day with a walk and a home run, then he settled in, and Urias really didn't give up but one hard hit ball and started to settle in, but the scoreboard says it's been a mess.
On the corner to even the count up. When Utley started his big league career, Antonio Senzatella was 6. A 2-2 pitch. That's low. The count is full. Going up in Valencia, Venezuela, same town that produced Felix Hernandez. Ian Desmond has nicknamed Senzatella Little Prince. Of course, King Felix. A 3-2. Strike 3 called over the outside edge.
This one is borderline. Pitchcast says it is a strike. Erwin Danley, as far as Pitchcast is concerned, got it right.
Second K, and here's Puig. His second day off yesterday. Trying to snap out of his slump. Puig is 3 for his last 27. And in his starts in this series, much more undisciplined at bats than we've seen even when he's been struggling. Foul tipped. It's 1-1.
When he's comfortable with his swing and not thinking about something mechanical, it seems like he is much more comfortable with understanding what is a strike and what is a ball, but been really grinding on some mechanical things lately. I think that just gets into his head as far as I'm trying to execute a swing, and he doesn't really concentrate on getting strikes as much.
Senzatella brings him a 2-1. And Puig pulls a rocket towards the left field corner that gets out of here. A line drive home run for Yasiel Puig to tie it. So we had the launch angle of 42 degrees on Seager's skyscraper. This one didn't get more than about 20 feet off of the ground.
This is a bullet, and I'm going to be the StatCast junkie to see how hard he hit this ball, because I expected it to be a double off the wall, maybe one bounce, and this ball goes 3-4 rows into the stands. It was smacked.
Strike on Urias. Seriously, that's like as opposite as you can get on trajectories on home runs. It's 0-2. So we've got our research group checking out to see if Seager's was the highest launch angle. I'm interested to know if that's the lowest.
Yeah.
Ooh. Bounced up and hit the bottom of the helmet of Julio. Looks like that's all, thankfully.
He's fine. I've seen that a few times, but not very often.
16-degree launch angle on Puig's home run. Urias down on strikes.
Take a look at the slow-mo with Kona. Kona Brewing Company bringing you this with Seager's launch angle of 42 degrees. And then we got to go all the way down to 16 for the bullet to left.
Same result.
Well, one was worth 2 runs.
You know what I mean.
I know.
Jeez. Second time through the order now. Jock Peterson started the game with a walk and takes ball 1. One and one. Happy Mother's Day to Jock's mom, Shelley. Bounce to the hole at short. Long way to go for Valaika, and his off-balance throw gets him. Tremendous defensive play from Pat Valaika, and a nice scoop from Reynolds on the back end. But Yasiel Puig hits his 7th home run of the year, tying Bellinger for the team lead and tying the game. Even the issue at 3 as we go to the bottom of the 2nd. Joe Davis, Orel Hershiser, and Alana Rizzo. And the series finale between these teams. Dodgers trying to take 3 of 4 from the Rockies, trying to move into first place for the first time since they took 3 of 4 from the Padres to begin the year. Urias after a rocky first, back at it against the bottom third of the order. First 4 Rockies got hits against him. RBI double from Arenado, 2-run single from Mark Reynolds. Pat Valaika. Big breaking ball sweeps in for strike 1. Which has been part of the problem for Julio, falling behind. Fouled off, and it's 0-2, and I mean, it's similar to us nitpicking Kershaw. We're talking about a problem for Julio when he comes into this outing having given up just 2 runs.
Gave up more runs in that inning than he has in his last 19 over 3 starts, and he has the talent to pitch from behind in the count. That's the way you become a very successful pitcher, but you just don't want to do it very often.
Off the end of Valaika's bat to Puig and right for the first out of the 2nd.
In all fairness, though, the balls that were hit in the first inning off of him, only one was really hit hard. The bunt was an exceptional play, and the other 2 kind of blooped in. Alex Wood commented on it yesterday about responding to his bad outings here in Coors Field. He had the 2nd highest ERA of anybody who's had more than 4 starts here, over 11. And he said, you know what, in Coors Field just seems like the soft balls fall in for hits, and the hard ones for sure are hits. And I've had a lot of outings like that here. And yesterday I was either having him hit at him, which he had some fortunate good defense behind him, or striking guys out.
And we've touched on that concept, but it's what a lot of people don't realize about this place. There's Dustin Garneau attacking the first pitch, strike 1. It's not just that the ball flies. It's the biggest outfield by square footage in baseball. So the soft ones, like Alex mentioned, tend to fall in more because the outfielders have to play a little bit deeper to cover all the ground.
Different managers have played different theories here. Don Baylor, Jim Leland, now Buddy Black. Play the outfield deep. Let's see what happens. Well, let's play the outfield real shallow. Let's see what happens. And now they're got so much data on what's going on. We watch them move around a lot. Sometimes they're playing shallow, sometimes they're playing deep, but there's not just one theory or other. Now it's to the particular hitters. But you still have a lot of ground out there to cover.
You wanted yours playing more in, right?
Yep. I wanted them playing for my good pitches, not my mistakes. And I figured if the ball was hit over your head, it was my fault. The ball falls in front of you, I'd rather have you be able to catch that ball.
Arias behind the 8-hitter Garneau, 2-1. He's back downhill. 3 balls and 1 strike. That was a rule of thumb, or that was what you did here?
No, that was a rule of thumb almost everywhere I pitched.
Okay.
Unless if I came in and told my defense, look, I just don't have it today, you can back up a step or two, play a little bit normal, but I wanted them in close.
Garneau turns this one around in the air lazily to left center. And Bellinger's there. A couple of fly ball outs here in the second. Good Mother's Day crowd here in Denver. Dodgers and Rockies have split the 8 games they've played so far this season. How about this, though? The Dodgers are 3-0 on Mother's Day against the Rockies all time. Arias to Senzatella. Strike 1. Senzatella got his first bat as a really young kid. His grandpa was a carpenter, and he carved one for him. Oh, and 2. I bet it didn't look like that one, though.
I'm sure he didn't ask to have it dipped in pink paint.
Arias finishes off the second with his first K of the day. 1, 2, 3 go the Rockies after the bumpy first.
The strikeout in the first inning, due up 3rd in this inning, and really has lit the baseball world on fire since his call-up. Not so much in this series so far, just 3 for 12, but Cody has really made some nice adjustments at the plate. When he first came up, you can see where he was standing on the plate, basically on top of the plate, and with working with hitting coach Turner Ward, he's backed off the plate about 2 inches. And when I asked him about it earlier, he said, I really have an opportunity now to recognize balls and strikes more. I said, was it difficult to make that transition in a game? He said, not nearly as difficult as I thought, guys.
You know, you don't like to give away how your team's batters can be gotten out, but that was one of the things I really thought that Cody was going to have to do, and to do it this quickly and to be comfortable with it is really a big step. We saw the league really pound him in, and when they pound you in, you start opening up the front hip and front shoulder, and then you're susceptible to the soft stuff away. And that's why I see some of his strikeouts. He's continuing to make adjustments, and it'll be an adjustment for his whole career. Hopefully he'll settle into where he wants to be in the box and find the swing and the ability to recognize pitches.
Corey Seager leading off this inning for the Dodgers. 2-run homer his first time. It's outside and it's 2-0.
People think it's real easy, you just move in the box, but all of a sudden you got to know where the strike zone is visually then once you move. Hitters can get very uncomfortable doing that.
2-1.
In the corner they lose the most is that pitch right there, the fastball away. Is it away or is it on the plate? Still easy to see that inside corner because it's close to you. That outside corner is tough.
Senzatella hits it twice, once with a fastball, once with a breaking ball. And so a 2-2 to Corey Seager. Full count.
Corey has really struggled with the breaking ball this week. It's been a pitch that is one of the worst in the big league statistically at swinging and missing at it right now.
He walks to open the third. It's his second leadoff walk in 3 innings that Senzatella's issued. And the Dodgers trying to, like the first time, make it hurt.
If you look at the 2 starting pitchers and you look at who's gotten hit hard and who's not thrown strikes, Senzatella is losing the contest, but he is even on the scoreboard.
Turner singled his first time. 4 hits in this series for a guy that has hit the Rockies as well as anybody in baseball. Over 370 in his career against Colorado. A knee-high strike.
Only one guy hitting more that has at least 150 at bats against the Rockies in their career. That's Miguel Cabrera.
Most of those coming when he was in the NL. For the Marlins, which seems like forever ago. Ball and a strike on Turner. On this Mother's Day, it's worth noting that Justin has his mother's side to thank for that red hair. Came from his great grandpa on his mom's side. That's with Seager at first and nobody out in a tie game in the third. Here's a 1-1 pitch.
So we do know he picks off to first base. Very aggressive leads by Jock early, where maybe they knew he doesn't throw over there at all.
Now the 1-1. Turner checks his swing. Hopefully, I didn't get too much of his hand there. It's 1-2. No, just got the barrel. For once, Justin didn't take a chunk of the ball. High fly ball into left. Battling the sun. Desmond comes on. He's got it. Turner the first out. Seager back to first.
He just missed a hanger right there. That is right in Justin's wheelhouse.
So now it's Bellinger, whose mom Jennifer was getting about as much TV time as Cody was over his first week or two in the majors. Every step of the way, Jennifer's been there for Cody. His dad Clay as well. Ball 1. There's living the dream, and clearly Cody's doing that when you look at his numbers in his first few weeks here. And then there's living the dream with your family there to see just about every game. It's a whole nother thing. Happy Mother's Day to Jennifer. Got under this one, flipped down the left field line. On comes Desmond, not going to get there, falls in no man's land. Bellinger to second, safely with a double. He and Seager both big time base running to set up a situation where the Dodgers can take the lead.
Nolan Arenado for the Rockies ran the bases well, and Corey Seager right here runs the bases really well, knowing where Desmond is coming from. That ball doesn't fall in by that much for Corey to read that ball, and Bellinger, not assuming anything, took off right away. But look at where Corey is right now. He sees, he goes halfway, and then he just continues on. And Bellinger, take a look, but I better go. And he doesn't run like a first baseman, ladies and gentlemen. He can play the outfield. He can play center field.
So second and third, the Dodgers trying to jump right back in front. Yasmani Grandal taking ball one. Our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact shows us that Yasmani Grandal has the longest active hit streak in the National League right now. Matt Kemp had a 13-gamer that just ended. So Grandal number one. And he bangs one into center, a base hit. Seager's in to score. Bellinger held at third. And Yasmani Grandal puts the Dodgers back in front 4-3.
A lot of hard hit balls off of Senzatella. And this one is one more. Boy, it almost took his glove off. You know, Yasmani had been disappointed if that had found webbing. They are all over him and timing up the fastball and staying on the breaking ball.
So the Dodgers scored the game's first 2 runs. Then the Rockies got 3 to quickly take a 3-2 lead. But the Dodgers responding back. Single runs in the second and in the third. And it's Chris Taylor trying to add on. Chris was up in this same situation in the first inning. Bunted, and it turned into a double play. Bunts through it, strike one. Huh.
I don't get it, but it's not for me to get. I love the way Chris is swinging the bat. I love the way the Dodgers are hitting the ball hard today.
And the other thing is that this is Coors Field, where you don't figure that adding 1 run here is going to be enough for you to smile and cruise.
No, but it is a run.
Yeah.
But it feels like it has less value here at this place, and especially in this game where it seems like there's going to be a lot of runs scored today.
And now he's behind 0-2. It didn't feel like a huge deal when he grounded into the double play trying to bunt in the first inning, because the Dodgers had already scored 2, but didn't take long to be reminded why every run counts here. Rockies answered with 3 quickly. Taylor down swinging. 99 from Senzatella. 2 out.
Well, that tells you if he ever fails as a starter, he got a chance to be a bullpen guy. That arm would play way up.
So it's up to Utley to try and add on here. Senzatella got him with a pitch over the outside corner his first time. That's one of 4 strikeouts so far. Joe's bunt takes a strike.
I'm sure Dave Roberts is going to get asked about these bunt attempts in his scrum now. The Dodgers have tried that with a man on third 4 times, including the one that Chris Taylor just bunted through. Clayton Kershaw was the first one to attempt it, and it was successfully done by
Alex Wood.
And Taylor in his first at bat tried it, and also in his second at bat tried it.
th pitch of this inning coming. Senzatella's already at 62 total. Here's the 1-1. Outside. Big pitch there, makes it 2-1 instead of 1-2. And he talked about yesterday how that may be the second most important pitch in baseball, the 1-1.
Greg Maddux really was the one that brought that to light when he was continually interviewed about his success as a pitcher. And he said, boy, the 1-1 pitch is the most important pitch for me.
Now it's 3-1.
Everybody wants to get ahead, but in some ways, there are a lot of first pitch hackers that you might, and sometimes as a pitcher, not try specifically to throw a strike, but maybe throw a ball in a tough area to hit, maybe make it look like a strike, and then get back in the count to 1-1. So that 1-1 pitch to go to 1-2 or to 2-1, the batting averages really differ for the hitters.
See if Chase gets one to drive on 3-1. He grounds it foul. Full count. Bellinger at third, Grandal at first. He'll now get a head start. And on a ball in the gap, the Dodgers could make this a 6-3 game here. Senzatella to the red hot Chase Utley. Hard hit. Diving play by DJ LeMahieu. Wow. To take a run away from the Dodgers.
It hurts, but you got to really admire it. What a play. Just long enough, that glove is.
With a 4-3 lead as we welcome you inside, and it gives us a chance to send out happy Mother's Day to our moms, to my mom Lori back in Michigan, and to a first-time mom, my wife Libby. I love you. The worst part of this job is being away on days like this. You're the best mom in the world. You amaze me more every day with the way that you raise Charlotte. So love you. Happy Mother's Day, and we'll do a Mother's Day breakfast when I get home.
That's awesome. And I wish my mom was still here, but you know what? She's not. But everybody out there that is missing their mom, we're thinking of you, and best wishes out there also, and a happy Mother's Day.
Top of the order for the Rockies as Julio Urias comes home to Charlie Blackmon. Ball one. Blackmon singled and scored in that 3-run first inning. First 4 batters for the Rockies all got hits. Urias hasn't allowed a base runner since. Breaking ball, a good one. It's 1-1.
So you're only going to take Libby out for a Mother's Day breakfast?
That's what we do, man.
What's wrong with a Mother's Day beautiful dinner?
Well,
candlelight dinner that you make for her.
All right, honey, we'll bring you out to the park. Because
you can wait till a day game.
It's 1-2. We'll do that too.
All right.
But I know the sweet spot for breakfast. It's cheaper too.
You're not supposed to say that out loud.
Obviously not.
You just think that
breakfast.
as a guy, as a dad. You just think that. You don't say it out loud.
It's cheaper.
I like it.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Charlie Blackmon. Mayhew and Arenado to follow here in the 3rd. In the air to left center field, and it's another bit of a bloop shot that has a Rocky on against Urias.
Charlie Blackmon starts in that leadoff hole pretty much no matter who's pitching, and he hits lefties very well because that man right there throws him batting practice every day. Bud Black, ex-big league pitcher that was a fine pitcher, throws to Charlie every day, whether out here on the field or in the cage, to keep him up to date on hitting lefties and seeing lefties.
Leadoff man on for Colorado, and here's LeMahieu. What a defensive play he made to finish off the Dodgers in the top of this inning. Bottom of the zone for a strike. Chase Utley's done that to a few people in his day. Not the first time LeMahieu's done it, though. He's a Gold Glover, using every bit of that 6'4" frame. There's an 0-1. Nothing in 2. Sharp break to it. Happy Mother's Day to Julio's mom, Juana. Ball one for Julio's big league debut last year in May in New York. His parents got the word the day before that he'd be making that debut, and so Juana and Julio's dad Carlos, his brother and his sister, they stopped to say a prayer at their church, boarded a plane to get them to New York on a red eye at 5:30 a.m. morning that he started. And Mayhew knocks a base hit to right. Blackmon holds on at second. And again, the Rockies with the top of the order, putting runners on against Julio.
Now this inning is built around a couple of hard hit balls. The inning that Julio gave up 3, there's a lot of soft hit balls, but here the Rockies second time around starting to hit it a little bit harder.
So that's 6 hits for the Rockies, all 6 coming from the top 4 in the order. Julio yet to retire 1 through 4. As Arenado comes up.
Arenado's double is the hardest hit ball by the Rockies today.
There have not been many hard hit. Flied to right. Yasiel Puig with those shades glistening for the first out. Blackman bluffed, and of course that's all he did. With Puig under it. Even some oohs and some ahs on that throw. One gone, and it's Mark Reynolds coming up. His 2-run single in the first inning gave the Rockies their only lead of the game at 3-2. Dodgers answered with a run and a Puig home run in the second, and then a run and a Grandal single in the third. Mark Reynolds had an offer this offseason to go play in Korea at a $3 million offer. It has 3 young boys at home. Said he wasn't about to drag them across the globe if there was a chance that he could stay and play in the majors, even though it meant signing a minor league deal. It's ball 1, and he's used to having less than full security. It's his 5th consecutive 1-year deal that he signed. His best Walter Alston impression. There's a 1-0. And they got him hung up on the bases with a miscommunication. LeMahieu took off. Blackman didn't. Turner will do the smart thing and run him back to the bag. And get the second out of the inning. LeMahieu is the man that is out. Second base technically already occupied by the runner that was there in Blackman.
What you're supposed to do if you really want to try and trick him when you get back all the way in this run down to second base, tag Blackman out, say you're out, and see if he walks off the bag, and then tag LeMahieu when he hasn't got there or backs off.
So you kind of run
just tag them both.
Air traffic control if you're Turner. You're gone.
Yep.
You go ahead, go back.
Yep, get off.
Yeah.
Before the umpire's voice gets in there and tells them what really happened. So most big league runners, they just keep their feet on the bag and just let the runner, the umpire, do all the negotiating. But it was definitely a double steal that Blackman didn't get a good jump, and he shut it down, and LeMahieu got his head down and just went.
It's a big out for the Dodgers, and a 1-run game here in the third, and now Julio's an out away from getting out of this jam. Is 1-1 to Reynolds. This is away. 2 balls and a strike.
In today's day and age, sometimes you could have a 2-5 with a put out at second base on an attempted stolen base, but this was an odd one.
Right. Two and two. Climbed the ladder with a fastball. Rockies had back-to-back singles from Blackman and LeMahieu to open this inning, but Arenado flied to right. LeMahieu ran into an out. And now a guy that strikes out a lot, not as much as he once did, but still a lot. Waits for a 2-2 pitch. Ball 3.
Could be a small turning point in this game. You know, this could have been a rough inning for Julio and the Dodgers. First pitch changed up to Arenado that got the pop up to right field. That looked like the beginning of getting out of it, and then maybe the Rockies ran themselves out of it.
Shanks this one foul. It'll stay full. Mentioned there was a day where Reynolds struck out a lot. He had a season where he struck out more than anyone. 2009, he struck out 223 times. It's part of a stretch where he led the league 4 consecutive years in Ks. Always been a high homer, high strikeout guy, but lately he's lowered the strikeout some, raised the contact percentage, raised the batting average, while still maintaining the power this year. Another foul. Homered in 4 consecutive games earlier on this homestand, which tied a record for him. Speaking of home runs, though, knock on wood, that makes this jinx proof. Rockies haven't hit a home run in 5 games. That's 1 game short of the longest streak in Coors Field history. I knocked on wood. 3-2. Off of the hands to third. Turner's got it. And the inning is over. Rockies at first and second, nobody out. The Dodgers able to get out of it with no damage and a 4-3 lead. Sportsnet LA is brought to you by the Ram 1500 Rebel. Experience the power and toughness of Ram at your local dealer. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new guacamole and bacon chicken sandwich only at Jack in the Box. Yasiel Puig leads off the Dodger half of the 4th inning, having homered his first time up. A line drive home run. In fact, the 2nd lowest launch angle on a home run in baseball this season at 16 degrees. Only Justin Smoke has hit a lower one, and he hit it a few minutes before Puig hit his at 15 degrees. Seager's of 42, the highest hit home run this year for the Dodgers and the 4th highest in baseball. Senzatella misses with a fastball, and it's 1-0. Fouled off, 1-1. It was Puig's first home run away from Dodger Stadium. Talked about that a couple times, but it's odd in a division where the Dodgers playing the 2 best hitters parks in the National League in Chase Field and here at Coors Field, that all of his bombs had come at home in a pitcher's park. 2-1. Thank you to Darren Willman, Mike Petriello, MLB.com, and StatCats for giving us that info. Puig's ahead, 3 balls, 1 strike. Smash to right. Carlos Gonzalez back on the edge of the track. Not juking anybody on this one. He's actually under it. But I tell you what, we can't trust you, Carlos.
You sure can't. And he gets a smile out of it. Was it Jock Peterson who hit one like in the 2nd or 3rd deck here, and he just played it off like he was going to catch it?
Yep. And if you ever want to try and be a pro at tracking fly balls and how deep they are, where they're going, the key is to watch the outfielder. So when we're up here trying to be pros, trying to track those fly balls, and you get a guy settling, putting his glove up like he's going to catch it, yet you think the ball's hit 400 feet, kind of shocks your system. 0-2 on Julio.
It's right up there with your favorite things like a umpire's slow strike call.
Oh man, don't get me going. Or no call on borderline fair and foul. life's simple pleasures, and then those on the other end. Senzatella strikes out Urias. That's his 5th. MLB.com app bat is your #1 mobile app for live Dodger baseball. You can stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Dodger home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts. We're talking about StatCast. You can get that there and plenty more. Download MLB.com app bat today.
That's where we get ours.
We do. Yeah, you go to the game day feed
right away.
And then there's the feed tab. That's where it has the StatCast data that we sometimes share with the launch angle and the exit velocity. 1-0 on Jock.
I can't watch a game without being on my MLB app now.
Yeah.
It's right by my side all the time.
1-1. What did we do before technology?
I don't know. What did I do before a microwave?
I didn't know that life. Shudder to imagine it.
That was one of my first big gifts that I gave my mother when I had lawn cutting job and shoveling snow, and it saved my money. And Mother's Day came around, and microwaves were really expensive then. It was like a $600 microwave.
Peterson to Valaika is short, and the inning is over. Dodgers down in order for the first time, and we go to the bottom of the 4th in a 4-3 game.
Jock Peterson pays a visit to the Los Angeles Rams facility, plus Aegon and Dave Roberts bring baseball to Dubai with an off-season kids clinic. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Hankook Tires, Thursday at 5:30 on Sportsnet LA.
Gorgeous day here. Dodgers with a 4-3 lead as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning, trying to take 3 of 4 from the Rockies.
So my mom says, what do I do with the microwave?
Yeah.
Mom, it's really good for popcorn and reheating coffee. That's about all she did with it.
Yeah. Is it worth the $600?
No. That's why they kept dropping in price. I got one of the first ones ever.
Ian Desmond leads off this inning against Urias and lifts a fly ball to right center. Puig shading his eyes from the sun, tracking the ball, finding it, 1 out on 1 pitch for Julio. Urias only 1 strikeout over 3 innings. The Rockies 6 hits against him. 3 runs came when the first 4 batters of the game all got hits. So the first 4 in the order are 6 for 8. After that, 0 for 6. including Carlos Gonzalez, who bounced out to third his first time. 1-0.
But as far as the eye test is concerned, he's throwing the ball pretty well. You know, a couple of hard hit balls, but balls are just kind of blooping in. You know, Rocky should have a run or two, but as far as the big three there and worrying about him, is he got to get him out of the game, or we're going to nurse him through 5? I think he's throwing the ball fine.
Eye test even a little bit better than when he took the no-hitter into the 7th.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably throwing the ball better than that. He's had his changeup. There was a big changeup to Arenado when he got the fly out in the 1st and 2nd of the last inning. The breaking ball down and in to Reynolds, and then he got him. Yeah, I like the way he's throwing the ball compared to that outing.
2-2 or 3-1. Remember, Grandal said that all he had was his fastball. He literally had no secondary stuff that he could trust when he took the no-hitter into the 7th. A 3-1. And his first walk of the day. Which is newsworthy that it doesn't come here until the bottom of the 4th. Did better in that regard his last time out, only walking 2, but each of his first 2 starts he had walked 4. Runner at first, 1 gone, and it's Pat Valaika, who has not done much in this series to prove that his nickname is appropriate. He nicknamed him Patty Barrels, but he's 1 for 12. Julio throws this one away, and the tying run in Gonzalez will move 90 feet from home.
One of the better pickoff moves in the big leagues is on the mound, and this is step-off move, not the full delivery, of course. Chase Utley trying to deke him a little bit like he's got the ball to hold him there. Gonzalez picked up all the right information, though.
Remember, the first run that Julio allowed this year came after a pickoff throw got away. Scott Van Slyke had a hard time finding it in the sunshine in San Francisco. A critical one here, and a 1-run game in the 4th. Infield comes in for Dave Roberts, and Urias comes home to Valaika. Fly ball to deep center field. Peterson running back at the wall, and the Rockies take a 5-4 lead. Their first home run in 6 games.
High breaking ball here. Valaika does not let pass, and he just powders this ball to center field. You hit balls here and you get some air under them, especially in the day, they fly.
Second career home run for Pat Valaika. First one allowed by Julio this year. And it didn't matter whether Gonzalez was at first or at third there. He was scoring on the home run from Valaika. It's a strikeout, Dustin Garneau. So a seesaw battle here in the finale. Typical Coors Field game. The final time the Dodgers visit here until the last 3 games of the year. Things hold up how they are now. It's going to be some kind of weekend. Outside corner strike, 0-2.
Really a pile of mistakes this inning for Julio. The walk, and throwing the ball away, and then the hanging slider.
At third, Turner cuts it off from his knees, spins and throws, and it's become an automatic. They're used to seeing Arenado make plays like that here, but Dodger fans are getting more and more used to the difficult plays looking simple from JT.
His range has actually gotten so much better. The health of his legs. Great job by Brandon McDaniel getting him healthy and day in and day out. There is no worry about how often to play him now, whether he needs to get a day or two to get off those legs. Boy, the quickness has really increased.
Strike one on Senzatella. Look out in the seats. I said this to you before the start of the season, and I still think that this is the case, even though the power numbers don't quite dictate it for Turner. I think he's going to be in the MVP discussion before this thing's finished this year.
I hope so. That means the Dodgers having a great year, because the guy in the middle of their order is having a great year. And I think you're right. The talent is there, and the experience now is there.
And the total package is now there.
For sure. Yep. Yeah, people are going to really be excited to watch him play on a daily basis. And somebody that when the Dodgers go from town to town, they're going to say, yeah, they get to see Justin Turner play.
Off a bounce, Seager. Senzatella the third out. But the Rockies go back in front. Back and forth we go.
Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Toyota time is going on now. Get incredible deals on a fuel-efficient RAV4 hybrid.
Back on this Mother's Day, where the Dodgers trail the Rockies by a run after the two-run homer from Pat Valaika, and Antonio Senzatella goes back out. Told you off at the top, lost his mother to breast cancer last year. While he was on the disabled list in Double-A, she asked if he could fly home to Venezuela to see her, and hadn't told him until that point that she was sick. Right before he boarded the plane to come, his dad told him, yeah, you need to get home in a hurry. Things aren't good. And she passed away a couple weeks later. So pitching with a heavy heart today. It was a year ago. For sure those emotions stirred up with it being the first Mother's Day without Nydia, who loved watching him pitch more than anything. She used to go to every game that he played in Valencia. She'd sit in the shade under the mango tree that was off to the side of the local field, and had the loudest scream of anyone, no matter how many people were there. Antonio always knew how to find her voice. Two, 3, and 4 for LA against him here in the fifth. Seager, Turner, and Bellinger, all of whom have reached. Dodgers with these 4 runs off 6 hits and a pair of walks. Strike one on Seager. Started the scoring with a 2-run shot in the first.
This was a blast. Didn't feel like a blast at the beginning, but he hit it really hard, just really high.
Flies this one to center, and Blackman is there for the first out of the inning. Highest one this year for a Dodger hitter at 42 degrees. Turner's 1 for 2 with some sparkling defense.
Whole series.
Yeah.
the whole year. We really haven't seen him make a bad play down there at third.
Chops one to Arenado. 2 out. So Senzatello's settled in since Grandal singled home a run in the 3rd inning. Senzatello's retired 7 in a row. That's what they love about this kid, his ability to never get 2 up or 2 down. His outing against the Cubs on Tuesday, they had the bases loaded against him and nobody out in the 4th, and a tight game at that point, and he got out of it with no damage done. It was just a snapshot of what they love. 1-0 on Bellinger.
What the Dodgers have loved about Cody Bellinger is the fact that he has really helped carry them through this hot streak. Since his arrival, their record is one of the best in baseball.
The best at 13-7. You're right, that corresponds directly with his call up in San Francisco. Had 3 missed calls from Gabe Kapler, director of the minor league system. It was in the middle of the night that he was getting those calls that he needed to go to San Francisco to make his big league debut. 3-0. Didn't find his phone, and then he had those messages until his roommate Trevor Oakes, another highly touted prospect, Trevor a pitcher, until he went in and woke Cody up and said, "Hey, call Gabe back. I don't think you're getting sent down." A 4-pitch walk, and the Dodgers have the tying run on here with 2 gone in the 5th. Grandal turning into one of the hottest hitters the Dodgers have. His hitting streak at 8 games, hitting close to 500 during that stretch. Strike 1. Ball on a strike. Osmani, particularly close relationship with his mom Maria. He was born in Cuba. Maria entered the family in a lottery when Osmani was 10 that allowed them to emigrate to the United States legally. It's a long shot they'd get selected, but Maria said it was worth trying if it got Osmani better opportunities. He's ahead 2-1. With Bellinger at first and 2 gone in a 1-run game in the 5th. Chris Russin warming. Count evens. Going away again with a 2-2, and Grandal hitting a ground ball that deflects off of Senzatella, and everybody's safe. So the tying run moves into scoring position on Grandal's 3rd hit of the day.
Rockies action in their bullpen. This might speed it up a little bit too. The ball deflecting off your pitcher that you've kept under 100 pitches so far this year, and he's in the 90s. Like an encouraging and motivational speech by Bud Black, or he's delaying until they decide to go with the bullpen.
You're right, it does look like a pep talk, like a Tommy Lasorda bulldog talk.
2 outs. Can you get this guy? Yes, I can, Skip. Are you sure? Are we going to get him right now? Yeah. Okay. Tommy would get in your face a little bit.
Little?
Oh, a lot of bit. I was glad I was taller.
Yeah. Even the playing field with his intensity. So Taylor, who twice has been up there looking to bunt. One time he did into a double play. The next time it put him behind, and he eventually struck out. Takes ball one. Chris 3 for his last 23 now, but batting with a chance to tie the game.
A lot of times pitching coaches or managers like to tell you that this is your last hitter, so just empty the tank, you know, and see that look in your eye.
1-1.
That was a very hittable pitch if Chris would have been looking for it. One of those hangers that just stays on the inner half. It's the one that Justin Turner missed in at bat ago.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Bellinger, the tying run at second, good speed. Grandal off of first. And a 1-2 to Taylor. Will come after a look at second. Senzatella knowing Bellinger has good speed and had a good lead. Here he comes. Way up there. Too tall to even be enticing. 2-2. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes on Taylor, who in a short time in the majors has had some big hits for this team this year. And that combined with some injuries has earned himself close to an everyday role.
He gets a hit right here with Utley on deck. If they bring in Russ, and there's a whole bevy of right-handed hitters on the Dodger bench.
Fly ball to right center. Got it off of the handle though, and Gonzalez is there to end the inning. Dodgers strand him at first and second. Senzatella gets through 5.
on the bench, no shortage in the pen, but things could change when two starters are set to be activated off of the disabled list in the San Francisco Giants' upcoming series. On Monday, Brandon McCarthy likely to be activated, making that start in Game 1. Brandon McCarthy recently in a simulated game throwing 4 innings, 60 pitches. Dave Roberts saying he's good to go. And as far as Tuesday is concerned, Rich Hill supposed to be activated off the disabled list. The blister feeling just fine in his last rehab start in which he went 5 innings, 75 pitches, guys.
Ardalana. Julio Urias back out there for the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Dodgers, as we say every day, with a good problem to have with those guys coming back and having to find spots to slot them. Top of the order. Urias unable to solve it yet. Blackmon, LeMahieu, Arenado. 1-0.
It's really interesting with Julio that a lot of times he has trouble throwing strikes to left-handed hitters. A lot of his walks come to lefties, and you'd think that with his stuff he would really dominate them and attack them. Walk Cargo today.
Over the head and home with a 2-0, and Blackmon gets hit by it. Leadoff man on. And out of the top 3 in the order, they've reached 6 of 7 times at the plate against Urias.
It's really strange. I think in some ways he's more comfortable facing the right-handed hitters. Maybe because of the fastball changeup combination is his easiest part of his arsenal to execute.
Not his sharpest. That'll do it for him. 68 pitches taken out, and Sergio Romo comes on in a 5-4 game in the 5th. Sergio Romo, the new Dodger pitcher, for the 16th time in a Dodger uniform, replacing Julio Urias.
Well, you know you're going to get some sliders if you're the Rockies, and this is not a new slider to watch. These Rockies have seen Romo an awful lot. Sergio's going to really need to execute. Breaking ball really doesn't have a lot of air here, so he's going to have to hit his spots a little bit more and know that it's probably going to be half the size of the break. We'll see if he can make it spin at this altitude.
LeMahieu 2 for 2, and now 7 hits in the 4 games in this series. Ball 1. Born in Visalia, bounced around growing up. His dad had a job as a computer programmer, and his job moved him from California to Las Vegas to Wisconsin to Michigan. That's where the family settled. on the corner, 1-1. DJ had been living in the offseason in Atlanta. That's where he would work out, but recently bought a house in Michigan around where his family is. Married a couple years ago, wanted to be closer to his friends and family. And his hitting coach also moved up to Michigan, a guy that he had been working with in Atlanta. His name is Casey Smith. He's a former minor leaguer and one of the people that's responsible for turning LeMahieu's career into an all-star one, into a batting title level career. Hit .267 in 2014. Then hit .300, was an all-star for the first time. Then last year had the highest average in baseball in 6 seasons, hit .348. 1-2. That all corresponds with when he started working with Casey Smith, who he now considers one of his closest friends.
They've done a very nice job rehabbing his swing. He uses the right side of the diamond an awful lot now. Stays on the ball a long time and hits a lot of balls hard. It's rare for right-handers to win batting titles. Usually a lot of times it's left-handers.
Count evens at 2-2. Why is that?
First base open, the hole with the man on first. Maybe it'll start to change with all the shifting, but the man on first, the left-hander gets there. He's a step and a half closer to first base as far as a few more infield hits if he's a fast runner.
And LeMahieu, to your point, had the highest opposite field percentage in baseball last year, winning that title. Also had the #1 contact percentage. He put it in play a lot, for the opposite field a lot, and to have numbers like he did. It's ironic, though, that it comes in a day and age where everybody's trying to pull it in the air. Backed up on Romo, but it's hacked foul, and it stays 2-2.
Sergio changing his pattern up here to LeMahieu. LeMahieu hasn't had much success off him. 3 for 14 in their career against each other, but Sergio's thrown him 3 fastballs in this at bat, and that's a rarity for him.
Pulled to third. Turner makes the catch. Positioned perfectly for the first out of the inning. We talk about Turner being really good in this series, but you know who else has been really good? Chris Woodward at positioning these guys.
He sure has. Has to interpret the data that comes down from the front office and get the guys in the right positions at the right time. Justin might want to start wearing a glove underneath his glove, just with all the line drives he's been catching.
Arenado with a runner at first and 1 gone takes a strike.
Arenado's neck snapped back. Didn't like that call.
Chris Woodward, second year in the staff. Spent the previous 2 seasons in Seattle. Arenado lifts a fly ball to left center field, and no doubt, 2-run home run.
Arenado now 5 for 13 in his career against Romo, and this is the 2nd home run of that relationship, and this is a no-doubter, like you said, Joe. 76-mile-an-hour slider that just kind of spins. No traction, but a lot of elevation.
So the Rockies lead at 7-4 now. One of those runs charged to Arias. One of them charged to Romo. Mark Reynolds, strike one. It's back-to-back 2-run innings for the Rockies on 2-run homers. Pat Valaika with one. Nolan Arenado with one. Rockies trying to salvage a series split. 0-2.
This game feels like it's a long way from over, though.
It is.
11 runs, and we're still in the 5th. Arenado didn't like the first pitch strike call, but then the 0-1 pitch, he didn't give any more time to Kerwin Danley to disagree with him. He said, I'll just hit the next one.
His 9th home run of the year. Romo trying to respond to get Reynolds. Grandal sets it inside. He misses way up with a fastball. We've talked about it as the series has gone on, but it's not been the offense that's guided the Rockies to this franchise best start. It's been the pitching. The offense just a tick above league average in scoring. Two and two. So you figure that the offense will pick it up some, but do you also assume the pitching will come back down to earth at all?
With the big arms that I see with their young pitching staff, they might have a learning curve, but I don't see them collapsing. And I think Bud Black is going to do a very good job pushing the starters as far as getting them through 6 innings, just like he did today with Senzatella. You know, he just went out there, gave him a pep talk, and said, "Come on, I need one more out of you." And the young man gave it to him. But I think Buddy's going to have a really good feel and a pulse of this pitching staff and how to keep them together for the full season.
Rockies last week had a run of 4 consecutive games started by rookies. Reynolds strikes out swinging 2 away. It's the first time they'd had that in 15 years. And those 4 rookies combined to go 3-1 with a .284 over those 4 games. The youngest rotation in baseball, averaging about 22 years old. You got to keep in mind too, they're without their ace John Gray, and without the guy that was supposed to be their number 2, who's battling cancer, and Chad Bettis. Ian Desmond looks at ball 1. So if you had to say right now, you would think that these would be the 2 teams that are going to be duking it out for the division?
It really does seem like that. I was not that high on the Rockies until we started to see them and then consistently throw those pitchers out there. How could you predict all these young guys would do so well coming into the year? There might be a certain percentage of them that do well, but all of a sudden to have them all pretty much doing their job.
And then you have Arizona. The West has 3 of the top 4 win totals in the National League. Desmond takes ball 3. You've got the Nationals with 23 wins, same with the Rockies, but then it's the Dodgers at 22 wins and the D-backs at 21 wins. Strike 1.
I have more confidence in the Rockies starting pitching holding up compared to even Arizona's, really.
Especially Shelby Miller, lost with the Tommy John surgery. Zach Greinke's been hit or miss. On 3-1, Desmond takes a strike. The count's full. And the bullpen too. The bullpen here is one of the strengths, at least at the back end, with Mike Dunn and Adam Ottavino, and then Greg Holland in the 9th. Not so much in Arizona. Teams with first-year managers, though, both doing a nice job. Bud Black here and Torey Lovullo in Arizona.
Buddy Black has more talent than he's ever had. He's got to feel like a kid in a candy store. All these Rockies hitters, he's used to managing the Padres and not having any offense at all and having some young arms here and there. Really never got to manage games trusting his offense that it's going to score.
Fouled hard off of Grandal. It stays full.
He fell behind in San Diego, and they pretty much could chalk it up to a loss.
Black 59 years old now. Spent last year in the front office with the Angels. Remember, they had a deal in place for him to become the manager of the Washington Nationals when Dusty Baker got that job, but the deal fell through after his 8+ years in San Diego. Another payoff to Desmond. And he chased, strike 3. But a 2-run shot from Nolan Arenado against Sergio Romo, and after 5, it's 7-4.
Third at 7:10 when the Dodgers play host to the St. Louis Cardinals. The first 40,000 fans in attendance receive a Jock Peterson bobblehead, courtesy of the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Scott Oberg comes in. Third time he's pitched in 4 games in this series, getting 1 out each of his first 2 appearances. Dodgers nearly climbed back into the game against him in the opener when they trailed 10-0. They got 2 runs against him on 3 hits, and he recorded just the 1 out. And then last night walked 1, struck out 1. Bottom of the Dodger order, Utley, Puig in the pitcher's spot. And Utley bangs a base hit to the opposite field. Oh, Chase with his first hit of the day, and the leadoff man on in the 6th.
Should have 2 hits, but he got robbed by LeMahieu in the last at bat where he hit that bullet. We reviewed that play multiple times. Diving stop to his left.
Brings up Puig. At his 7th home run of the year, back in the 2nd inning. Chases here, strike 1. Scott Van Slyke looks like will bat in the pitcher's spot. pop up the center. Blackman, 1 out. So Van Slyke, who had a home run in his first at-bat of this series, first run of the game in that 10-0 game to begin with on Thursday night. Now getting an opportunity here, trying to get a rally going, down 7-4. Luis Avilan starts to warm.
No left-handed batters on Dave Roberts' bench. Kike Hernandez, Austin Barnes, Franklin Gutierrez, Scott Van Slyke, who's up to the plate, and Brett Eibner, who had a very long home run yesterday.
Longest of the year for the Dodgers. 465 feet. One of the best pinch hitting teams in baseball this year. It's 1-0. Dodgers will see the best pinch hitting team in the upcoming homestand, the Cardinals. It's going to be another one of those weird stretches where you see one team a bunch in a short stretch. 7 out of 10 games will be against St. Louis. Tries to lay off and does, and he's ahead 2-0. That's where Scott is from. Grew up around St. Louis. He's the Missouri High School Player of the Year. Three balls, no strikes. Top of the order, Jock Peterson due up.
Like I said, I think this game's a long way from over. And I don't mean time-wise, I just mean grind it out. 3 runs here and the way the ball's flying around.
It's a strike, 3-1. You're probably right if you mean time-wise too, though.
I just didn't want to rub it in.
Yeah, appreciate it.
That ball right there was a generous strike. Scott's a pretty big man. The ball looked low.
Here comes the 3-1. And that's ball 4. Ultimately gets the outcome he thought he should have gotten. And the Dodgers bring the tying run to the plate here in the form of Jock Peterson. Likely going to be against the new pitcher as Bub Black comes out. If he does go to a left-hander, we'll see if Dave Roberts counters. 7-4 game in the 6th. We'll have that answer for you when we come back.
Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by Carl's Jr., the baby back rib burger, only at Carl's Jr.
Back in Coors Field, perfect day for some ice cream in the helmet. Hi. Love that. That was one of the best parts about coming to a game as a kid, getting to take that souvenir helmet home after crushing the ice cream. Great timepiece he has, too. Chris Russin, the left-hander, comes on to face the left-handed batting Jock Peterson, and Dave Roberts does leave him in here. Pretty even splits for Russin, lefty-righty. Jock limited sample size against left-handed pitching this year.
Got the one flap down helmet.
Tying run at the plate with one out in the sixth. Here comes Russin. Jock swings at the first pitch, hits it foul. Twice grounded out to short today. Walked to start the game and scored on Seager's home run.
Buddy Black playing the percentages for sure. Jock Peterson is 1 for 8 in his career off Russin. Behind him, Corey Seager is 1 for 7.
Here's the 0-1. On the ground to first, Reynolds will spin and go to the bag. It's his only play. Runners advance to second and third, and 2 gone for Seager. It was 1 for 2 today with that 2-run homer. It's also flied to center and walked. Chases, strike 1. Corey about 100 points worse against left-handed pitching than he is against righties. One of the only guys that is in the starting lineup every day regardless of the handedness of the pitcher. Quickly behind 0-2.
Back-to-back sliders low and away.
Puts this one in play, but softly. LeMahieu gobbles it up, and for the second inning in a row, the Dodgers leave 2. Middle 6 in a 7-4 game. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Derek Jeter's number 2 retired today at Yankee Stadium. And there are now no single digits left to be worn if you're in pinstripes. Nobody's ever worn 0. Don't know if you actually count that as one of the single digit numbers. Would you put it in that category?
I guess you have to,
yeah.
But because it's been worn and it is a single digit, but it seems very odd either way.
A ceremony between games and a doubleheader today in the Bronx. Luis Avilan comes on, trying to get the Dodgers into the late innings with the deficit only at 3.
Luis has really turned himself into an outstanding, consistent reliever and somebody that Dave Roberts and Rick Honeycutt can call on anytime they want. It's not just because of that ERA, but the way he attacks hitters now and comes in and he's very efficient.
A pair of Venezuelans facing off. Carlos Gonzalez, 31-year-old in his 10th major league year. Arrived in the United States in 2002 when he was 16. At that point, didn't know a single bit of English. Takes ball 1. But he made it a priority right away to learn as much as he could about the language. Watched a lot of American TV. Eventually, once he started to learn the language, read a lot. And then the biggest piece, he said, was getting an American English-speaking girlfriend. Pulls a bouncing ball to second. Chris Taylor has it. And Gonzalez the first out of the 6th. Avilan was on just for Gonzalez. Dave Roberts comes and grabs him with Pat Malaika coming up. Doc goes back into the pen in a 7-4 game. Pat Malaika and then the right-handed batting Dustin Garneau due up after Avilan. Like you said, very efficient. Needs only 2 pitches to get Carlos Gonzalez.
And now we get to see Ross Stripling, who we haven't seen since he went 3 innings on Monday against the Pirates and did very well. Gave up 1 run, but 5 Ks and has really filled in admirably down in that bullpen no matter what role Dave Roberts calls on him to do. It can be high leverage situation, could be this situation here where maybe he'd like to see him go a couple innings and eat some innings while the Dodgers try and climb back into this.
Valaika's 2-run homer put the Rockies in front in the 4th. They got insurance and a home run from Arenado. These two have never faced off. So that's the first look he gets at Stripling's breaking ball, which is high. Dave Roberts said yesterday before the game that long-term this organization still looks at Stripling as a starter. It's 2-0. Just the way the roster is constructed right now, this is a valuable role that he's in. And it's not like there's a ton of room in the rotation anyways.
There is zero room in the rotation.
The opposite of room.
His compadre down there at the beginning of the year, Alex Wood, has moved into the rotation, has a solid hold on his spot. Ross Stripling might get an opportunity like that down the road where all of a sudden he becomes a piece.
There's a strike. He's really enjoyed it, pitching out of the bullpen as he's gotten his routine down more than he expected that he would. A pop-up on the infield. Chase Utley tracking it, calls it, catches it. 1 out, or 2 out. The first out recorded by Stripling.
Chat going on right there about how much fun it is to catch that ball even at the big league level. And did he smile? He might have smiled.
I think it was a glare.
Okay.
From the sun, not a glare from Chase.
No, I think Justin Turner was giving him a little business about catching that one. Wasn't that fun? Oh yeah, that was a blast.
Not today. Bright skies above. Dustin Garneau to the plate with the bases empty and 2 gone. Rockies haven't gone down in order since the 2nd. Buzzed him with a fastball. It's 1-0. Middle part of the Dodger order coming up in the 7th inning. Turner, Bellinger, and Grandal trying to come from behind. Wouldn't be the first time that somebody had done that in this ballpark. Two 2-0. That's a strike. 2-1.
It's an excellent pitch. It's really hard to bury a fastball in there in a hitter's count. Strength against strength. If they're opening up and cheating, you better make a good one.
Left this one up. 3 balls, 1 strike. After this one, headed to the place that Stripling made his major league debut.
Boy, what a debut it was.
Man, oh man. A no-hitter into the 8th. High strike, full count. Put aside 21 tickets on that day for friends and family, and when he finished, got back to his phone, had 174 text messages. Probably many from numbers that he didn't have saved, people he didn't know exactly who they were. Here's a payoff, and Garneau takes inside, ball 4. He had been to San Francisco one time before, been to the ballpark one time. It was while he was in A-ball with Rancho. The team bus to San Francisco for a Dodger Giant game, and he remembers saying to his teammates, this is in the middle of the year they were playing up there, can you imagine playing in a Dodger Giant game here? And then that was his debut a few years later. Gerardo Parra pinch hitting the pitcher's spot here in the 6th inning.
Well, the minor league fields have improved over the years for sure, and especially since my day when I drafted in '79, made to the big leagues in '83. Just to walk onto a big league field as a minor leaguer and to feel how manicured the field you're going to get to play on, it's absolutely, that's half the dream come true. Walking into a big league locker room, carpet instead of cement. You know, rusty nail, no, not anymore. Beautiful hook, manicured nameplate with, you know, printed out by a computer. just completely different feel.
Other than 2.
Every baseball pristine. It's not 1 inch of your life at the big league level that's not almost perfect.
Until you rub pine tar all over it.
That helps you get a grip. Just get a grip.
0-2. Ball 1. Parr played his first major league game in 2009 with the Diamondbacks. Most of his career there, last few years bouncing between Milwaukee and Baltimore, now the Rockies. With a man at first and 2 gone, a 1-2 pitch. Fouled off. Pitching probables in that San Francisco series. Giants are going to send Matt Cain tomorrow, and Ty Block on Tuesday, and Johnny Cueto, and the finale Wednesday against Clayton Kershaw. It's McCarthy for LA tomorrow. Rich Hill comes back on Tuesday. Two and 2. Runner holds at first. Grandal kept it in front of him.
Really no part of the Dodger rotation now that when you read the probables that you go, oh, we're going to have to get by that one, or we're going to have to get by that one. I mean, Ryu did have a rough outing, but other than that, you're just pretty confident in every pitcher they're sending to the hill right now.
Full count. Giants on their way right now to winning a 3rd in a row against Cincinnati. They lead 7-0 in that game midway through. Garneau runs on a payoff pitch that swung on and missed, and Ross Stripling works a scoreless 6th inning on to the late innings in Denver. Calendar brought to you by 76. 3 with the Giants and then home for a 10-game homestand with the Marlins, the Cardinals, and the Cubs.
Looking forward to that homestand, but first we've got some exciting games there in San Francisco, and we will get there eventually today. Hopefully it's with winning 3 out of 4 here that Dodgers come off the get this lead. It's get it back at it. Got the middle of the order, though. Let's go.
Mike Dunn comes on.
We are getting the premier pitchers now out of their pen.
Turner, Bellinger, Grandal. Justin 1 for 3, one of the 8 Dodger hits. Good opportunities for more in this game, but each of the last 2 innings have stranded a pair. That's ball 1. A pop-up. Reynolds racing back, trying to find it in foul ground, and does for the first out. So Dunn, one of the pieces they went out and acquired to try and solidify the back end of the bullpen. They got Greg Holland to close. Got him in a bargain deal because he was coming off Tommy John surgery. Teams weren't sure about how good he'd be, how soon he'd be ready, but he's 15 for 15 in save situations. And Dunn has been solid in the setup role. He faces Bellinger. Cody hacks at the first one, strike 1.
Definitely going to be easier to come back against the Rockies, against their starters and their middlemen, than when you get to the back end of this bullpen. These guys are veterans that know how to get the job done.
Oh, and 2. On a longtime Marlin, signed a 3-year deal with the Rockies. Rhino sends the target low and away. Bellinger fouls it off. Cody struck out his first time since with a bloop double and a walk. After him, it'll be Grandal, who has 3 singles in as many trips up there. Rockies won the first one. Dodgers won games 2 and 3. Now here we are in the finale, in the 7th. Ball 1.
Cody off to a very hot start in his big league career, and this is a challenge to face these veteran left-handers in the tail end of the game.
Dunn got him. Find out if you're a Dodger good luck charm and purchase a 5-game weekend plan starting at $20 a ticket. If the Dodgers win all 5 games you pick, then you'll win 2 free tickets to Fan Appreciation Day in September and get recognized in a group photo on the field. For more information, go to Dodgers.com/mini-plans. Grandal trying to keep it rolling with his average knocking on the door of 300 now. 1-0. 8-game hitting streak, longest active streak in the National League right now.
Thank manager Dave Roberts and a little pep talk and a little information on what he saw with Yasmani while he was struggling in a little bit of a slump.
Hooked around, 2-0.
Dave's advice was to, your swing is real good, you're seeing the ball real good, but you're swinging at balls. You got to wait for some strikes.
First game after Dave had that talk with him, he homered. Oh.
3 for 3 today, 5 for 8 in the series.
Dunn's 3-0. And that's low for ball 4. And so Grandal's reached all 4 times today. So Dunn to face the suddenly struggling Chris Taylor. And actually maybe Ottavino as Black comes out. Ottavino's warming. And he is going to come in. So Ottavino on to face Taylor in a 7-4 game in the 7th. Dodgers with a man on and 2 out.
Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com.
Back in Denver, and Adam Ottavino comes in, the right-handed thrower to face the right-handed batting Chris Taylor. Second day in a row Ottavino's thrown at a scoreless 8th inning yesterday.
15 pitches yesterday. That's enough to be able to come back, and he's leading the majors, or tied for the lead with 11 holds.
Strike 1 on Taylor. Swung himself out of his shoes at a fastball at 93.
Boy, that ball had really good run on it.
Chris 2 for 16 in this series. He can reach. Utley would come up representing the tying run. Bouncing ball up the middle. LeMahieu behind the back has no play, and the Dodgers will get the tying run to the plate. So an infield single for Chris Taylor.
Can't hit a line drive, find a hole. If you don't find the hole, make it too hard to throw you out.
Utley has come alive lately. 8 for his last 14. That average finally reaching 200. Doesn't seem like much, but it's been a uphill battle. That average was below 100 as recently as a week ago. Wouldn't this be a nice spot for Chase's first home run of the year? Ottavino's allowed 1. Came in the first series of the season in Milwaukee. One and 0.
Ottavino throws him a breaking ball first pitch, because remember, Chase slapped a single on a first pitch fastball in his last at bat. They're trying to mix it up a little bit.
Two balls, no strikes. Puig on deck.
bit of respect showing Mr. Utley, a guy who's only hitting 200, just reached that mark, and all of a sudden you're pitching to the guy that's swinging the bat lately, not the overall numbers.
And when the numbers become more respectable as they are now, you're pitching to a guy that has spent 15 years in the majors. Fly ball, right center field, but just missed it. Charlie Blackmon there, and the Dodgers for a third consecutive inning have stranded 2. Arenado, not a surprise. Ross Stripling on for his second inning of work, trying to keep it right here.
That's the key. Get your team in the dugout as soon as possible. Don't have a struggle, even if you put up a 0. Try and find a way to cause some momentum, even on the defensive side. And a pitcher having a quick inning and getting them in there can cause that.
Top of the order for the Rockies has been deadly today. Top 3 in the order have combined to go 7 of 9. Blackman a pair of singles, scored after both. Mayhew and Arenado to follow. Stripling out of the stretch comes home, and it's upstairs, ball 1. He mentioned this was the first outing for Stripling since Monday. It was his first pitching outing since Monday, but he most recently scored the winning run as the pinch runner on Tuesday night on Austin Barnes' pinch hit double. Dave Roberts told Stripling at 3:30 that afternoon, hey, be ready. Got a short bench tonight. We may need you to run. So Stripling said he literally spent the whole game in the dugout ready to run. Another base hit for Blackman. He comes on as a pinch runner. And the ball that Austin Barnes hit that eventually got to the wall to win it, Stripling thought it was hit at the right fielder Polanco. So he was just trying really hard to go first to third. And then he sees Chris Woodward waving him and thinks, oh my goodness, I have to go home here? And wound up scoring from first. Surprise getting that wave, but scoring the winning run. LeMahieu now with a man at first and nobody out. Strike 1. He was the first Dodger pitcher to score a game-winning run on a walk-off since 1965, when it also happened against the Pirates. Guy you might have heard of, Sandy Koufax. But Sandy wasn't as a pinch runner. Sandy walked in the 10th inning. He was still pitching 10 innings into that game. That's in. It's 1-1. And Roberto Clemente made an error on a ball hit by Jim Gilliam that allowed Koufax to score from first. 10 innings for him, you say? He did it 3 times that year, 10 full innings. Two and 1.
Looking for ground balls in this park. Keep the ball out of the air. It's carrying real well today, and a ground ball at somebody might get you a double play.
Drive to center. Peterson on. Tries to make a sliding catch, but can't. Blackman does well to get in safely. The top of the order continues to rake. 2 on, nobody out, and Arenado coming up.
Yep, a little one hopper right there. Hard for Jock to tell. He's just trying to get the glove on it, get it down there. Hard for him to see that the ball bounced.
Mentioned the ball flying today. 4 home runs between the 2 teams combined as we look at our Arco top tier play, including Arenado's, which has the score where it is right now.
Big man has hit a lot of home runs over the last few years, and that one was a no-doubter.
On this Mother's Day, I'll tell you that his mom, Millie, is a baseball player herself at Southgate High School in Los Angeles. She pitched. She played shortstop. Eventually went into a career in insurance, but retired recently so she could travel around and watch Nolan play and his younger brother Jonah, who's in the Giants minor league system. Still, though, sometimes gets so nervous she can't watch. They're watching the games at home in Lake Forest, California. Always his biggest and most positive supporter. Nolan said she'll say, "You look great, honey," and he'll say, "No, I didn't, Mom. I was 0 for 4. But it doesn't matter. She always thinks that Nolan looks great. Two and out.
Could never correct my mom when she said that.
Right.
You know, it always felt bad to go, "No, Mom, I was terrible." No, you know where they're coming from, and they love you, and they're just trying to give you support, but they have kind of no idea what to say. But you got to say something. It's always special.
2-1. Well, she tells him he looked great today. She won't be lying. RBI doubled in the first and the 2-run homer in the fifth. Arenado's knocked in more runs and hit more home runs than any player in the National League over the last 2+ seasons. He may be the single best player in baseball that doesn't get mentioned as one of the single best players in baseball. You hear Trout, okay. You hear Harper, okay. Manny Machado gets thrown in sometimes. Arenado doesn't get thrown into that group enough. 2-2.
How about even in the National League West? You hear Goldschmidt, Seager.
Yeah, when you're talking all around, those are guys that do everything.
Yeah. And it's not like he's, you know, camera shy or not good television. He's great. He's a highlight film every game.
Swings and misses at a high fastball. Stripling gets him. Yeah, he lets his emotion show.
Yeah.
You love that.
Could be a national fan favorite if people would get to see him, but the Rockies have been playing very uncontested or unimportant games late in the year. He's never really been on the national spotlight other than an all-star game. What do you get? 1 or 2 at bats in that.
And the Mountain Time Zone presents its own challenges when you're talking about a national scale. You're sitting in between the wave of games on the East Coast and the late night games.
Very rarely are they on Sunday Night Baseball or any of the highlighted games.
2 on, 1 out. It's Mark Reynolds. Bouncing ball, position well, and this will be a double play. 2 scoreless innings of relief for Ross Stripling. On to the 8th. Let's see if the offense can make some late magic. Today brought to you by Morongo Casino. 4 home runs total. First one came from Seager to start the scoring in the first inning. Puig hit the lowest line drive home run of the year for the Dodgers, the second lowest in baseball this year. But Pat Malaika and Nolan Arenado have both gone deep. 2-run jobs and a 7-4 lead for the Rockies. Yasiel Puig leading off this inning. Took strike 1 from Adam Ottavino. And the next one. Ball 1. After Puig, it looks like it'll be Kike Hernandez in the pitcher's spot. And back to the top of the order. Can they come from behind to take 3 of 4 and take first place? 2-1.
And of course, when you're a half a game out and you're playing the team in front of you, you get asked before the game about, this is for first place. And pretty much guys are saying a lot of different things, but most of them saying, we understand the record, but we're really not looking at it right now. First place is there, yeah, but September's when I'll start looking at it, or after the All-Star breaks when we'll look at it. We just want to play good baseball.
2-2. Is that real from your experience? Are people really not paying that close attention, or is that just media speak?
Well, as a starting pitcher with the 4 other days, I'm looking at it because maybe on the day I'm pitching, yeah, it's a little extra motivation. Hey, I can get my team into first place today, or hey, we can pull within 2, or hey, we can pad our lead. You use it as motivation for sure. Everybody in that locker room wants to be in first place. I don't care what day it is. So yeah, it's media speak.
Okay. Puig has worked it full, trying to reach to start the 8th and start something in the 8th. Ottavino to the plate with a payoff. Line drive, base hit to center. Puig hustling out of the box, made sure Blackman didn't waste any time getting to it. And the Dodgers have the leadoff man on.
Puig now 4 for 9 off of Ottavino in his career and a home run. So that's some pretty good images up there when he was swatting this ball to center field. 2 balls in the air to the left side of the diamond today. That's a good sign for him, not rolling over it.
That one right there wasn't a whole lot lower than the home run. Kike Hernandez pinch hitting. Dave Roberts has liked the way he's looked at the plate the last week or so. Off of the glove, and Puig will move into scoring position.
It's going to be a pass ball, I think. You got to have that one. It's all the way in the air from the mound, just a little backhand. It's barely off the outside corner. Maybe trying to frame it, keep it on the plate. Official score says pass ball.
Tails in there. It's 1-1. But again, the Dodgers have not been without opportunities. They've gone 1 for 8 with runners in scoring position and stranded 9. 9 runners stranded in 7 innings. Puig at second, nobody out. And Ottavino's 1-1 pitch. Backs up, fouled off, 1-2.
You got that right. That was a backup slider, and that's the ones that fools hitters because you see sliders spin and you start your swing towards an area where you think it's going to break to, and then it just cement mixes and stays on the inner half.
Lays off, the count evens. After Kike, top of the order, Jock Peterson. If Kike can reach, Jock would represent the tying run. Very good chance that this is the final batter Ottavino faces. The left-hander Jake McGee's been warming. And back-to-back left-handers at the top of the Dodger order. Now the 2-2. Tries to lay off and does. A full count.
That takes some strong hands and wrists to check your swing there. Oh yeah, not even close.
He dances off his second, trying to draw the attention of Ottavino, who deals 3-2, and that's ball 4. Heck of an at-bat for Kike Hernandez, turns into a walk, and with nobody out in the 8th, Bud Black going to go back into the bullpen with Jock Peterson coming up representing the tying run. Month without allowing a run before the Dodgers got him for one in Game 2 of this series. And Dave Roberts countering this move. Instead of Jock Peterson, which is the batter that McGee was brought on to face, it'll be Franklin Gutierrez, the pinch hit, representing the tying run.
This matchup right here favors the Dodgers. Gutierrez 1 for 1 off of McGee in their career. I know that's a short sample size, but Mr. Gutierrez is a left-handed killer. I'll tell you what, off of lefties, he's hitting 300. His on-base percentage is almost 400. So this bodes well for the Dodgers.
And he's been a big part of that equation. We've talked about how good the Dodgers have been off of the bench. He's 3 for 5. He's allowed 1 home run this season. It was to Cody Bellinger on Friday night. 2 on, nobody out in a 7-4 game in the 8th inning. Franklin Gutierrez pinch hitting. Strike 1.
A double and 2 routine outs, and you could have a tie game. This could be 2nd and 3rd, no out, and you just get a sac fly and move the guy over from 2nd to 3rd, another sac fly or ground ball, and all of a sudden you got a tie game. They are not that far away. 1 big hit.
He's 0-1. That's low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dave Roberts telling us right before the start of the season, we're watching Franklin Gutierrez take batting practice. Might have even been opening day. Said this guy's going to get some big hits for us as this year rolls on. On 1-1. Checks his swing. On ball 2.
Huge check right there. 1-2 or 2-1. 2-1. You know what's exciting? This is a good matchup, but what's coming behind him? Seager, Turner, Bellinger.
Fouls it off, and it's 2-2.
McGee's doing a good job keeping the ball down. A little bit higher is right in Franklin's swing.
He would love to induce a ground ball, which would entirely change the complexion of this inning. It's begun with a Puig single and a Kike walk. 2 on and nobody out. Tying run at the plate in the 8th inning. McGee's 2-2. Popped up down the right field line. Gonzalez comes on and makes a running catch. 1 out. And up comes Seager.
Seager faced Dunn in his last at bat. They started him out with a couple sliders low and away and got ahead of him. Corey ended up grounding out to second. Pretty routine play.
Two-run home run back in the 1st inning. McGee's first pitch fouled off, strike 1.
Flip-flopped on the first pitch right there. They went heater and went up and in.
Fourth consecutive inning, the Dodgers have had 2 men on base. Yet to take advantage. Inside on Seager, ball and a strike. Back-to-back fastballs from McGee.
Could throw that ball up about 96, 97. Averages around 94, 95.
On 1-1. Hacked foul, 1 and 2. All fastballs so far. Now he has him right where he wants it.
Especially in a place where if he wants to go breaking ball, he doesn't have to throw it for a strike.
Dodgers trying to chip away with the league leader in saves, Greg Holland, waiting for the 9th inning. We get second, Hernandez at first, and a 1-2 pitch from Jake McGee to Corey Seager. He missed low. The count evens up. Still hadn't thrown him a slider.
Really thinks his fastball command is the pitch that can get him a double play or keep Corey in the yard. Probably not feeling comfortable with the breaking ball. If he hangs it on the inner half, that's the one that could get out of here.
Fouled it off.
Tried to quick pitch him, and it's almost like a balk right there. Got a shout from the Dodger dugout right there about make him stop. Even the replay got us there. That was really quick.
Two balls, 2 strikes on Corey Seager. Here it comes. And he got it. All fastballs. Couldn't lay off this one that was down and away, and 2 out.
McGee set him up in a few ways, varied his timing there, really froze Corey in the box, just like you freeze a base runner that you think might be stealing. That'll get you on your heels, make you flinch a little bit.
So it's up to Turner, and they leave the left-handed pitching McGee on to face him. Representing the tying run still. The lone home run for Turner in the 3-home-run 9th inning against Philadelphia 2 weeks ago. 2 on, 2 out, 8th inning. Ball 1. Justin is 1 for 4. Singled way back in the 1st inning.
Justin had a rough year against lefties last year, but turned that around this year so far, hitting .326.
Inside edge, strike 1. And the narrative about the Dodgers struggling against left-handed pitching, I mean, it was real, but a big part of it was Guys that have always hit left-handed pitching, just having down years all at the same time. Turner was one of those guys.
Lost Van Slyke to an injury. Turner down. Kike Hernandez was down.
Little muscle shot to second and down, a base hit. Puig will score. Hernandez goes to third. RBI single Justin Turner. It's a 7-5 game, and the Dodgers have the tying run on base for Bellinger.
It wasn't hard and it wasn't pretty, but it was effective. This is off the hands right here. McGee wearing out that outside corner. It was outside to Seager. Now it's inside to Turner, but to that part of the plate, he has been good. Turner forced it out there.
So now the tying run at first, the go-ahead run at the plate. In the form of the guy that's hit more home runs and driven in more runs than any player in the National League since his call-up in late April. Cody Bellinger.
McGee yet to throw a breaking ball, and I would think that's what they would want to throw Cody. That or a high fastball by the waist.
Strike one. There was a fastball, but he didn't get it as high as he wanted.
Cody's sweet spot is below the waist. He's got a nice, powerful uppercut swing. You see right there. That's the pitch he likes to drive.
It's been all or nothing in this series for Cody. He's got a home run and a double. Every time he's been retired, it's been on a strikeout. Outside, ball one.
Unhittable pitch right there. You might as well take it. See what the umpire has to say.
So 16 pitches, all of them heaters from McGee. Does he dare throw another over the middle to Bellinger? Skips it in there, and a big stop from Garneau. 2-1.
This is a pretty big play that finds leather. Turner could have been standing on second. That would have made needing only a single.
Dodgers with one in the bank here in the 8th inning. At the corners and 2 gone, and a 2-1 to Bellinger. Fly ball, foul, 2-2.
I don't think the outfielders are going to get a very good jump if he hits the ball in the gaps. It's hard to see right now.
Sure is.
They've got the sunglasses on, we don't, but it is really kind of an odd sky and a glare.
Kind of the color of the baseball. And you add the glare into it. Go ahead run up there, and Bellinger waiting on a 2-2. Line drive left center field. Desmond over, plays it on a bounce. Hernandez in to score on an RBI single from Bellinger. A 7-6 game, and the tying run is at third.
He continues to impress. Of course, the home runs, the tape measure shots are impressive, but here's an impressive 2-strike swing. He just shortens up, collapses his legs, gets down to where the pitch is, and just plays pepper with the left fielder and finds that hole. Outstanding piece of hitting from Cody Bellinger.
So the Dodgers finally able to break through here. All 3 innings in a row they had left 2. Here they've brought in 2. And their hottest hitter, Yasmani Grandal, will come up with a tying run at third and the go-ahead run at first.
He looked good in his last at bat. He drew a walk against Dunn. Real boisterous Dave Roberts was encouraging him on every pitch. The other day, taking BP against left-hander with his right-handed swing, was really swinging the bat well. All the coaches were around the cage encouraging him, telling him that's where we want you. That looks good. They were even kidding him, saying, "Who's this guy in the cage?"
Tying run 90 feet away. Grandal's ready. First one. Bouncing ball right side. LeMahieu recovers to get it and throw him out. He was moving towards second, but was able to recover and grab it. Dodgers get 2 and trail 7-6.
Out there. Coming up next, Access Sportsnet Dodgers presented by Nissan. Jamie Maggio, Jerry Hairston Jr. and Ned Coletti will break this one down. Julio Urias' 4 innings of work, but some Dodger offense coming through here in the later innings, guys. Hopefully they can flip the script and get this win before we head to San Fran.
Yeah, make it 3 of 4, move into first place. Either way, it's been a beautiful Mother's Day here. And again, happy Mother's Day to everybody at home, including my mom, Lori. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. Chris Hatcher comes in here, trying to preserve this one at 7-6 in front of the 9th inning, where the Dodgers will bring up Taylor, Utley, and Puig. Ian Desmond to lead off the 8th inning for the Rockies. Goes after the first pitch. It's fouled off, strike 1. Hatcher's thrown or shown some flashes of that stuff that, when it's right, is elite.
His last outing was the best I've ever seen him throw a ball since he was a Dodger. Hitting his spots, great fastball command. Off-speed stuff has really gotten better, tighter and later.
Pop foul, 1-2. Another odd game at Coors Field. Back and forth. 4 home runs hit. Kind of game you expect in this place. Opened up in 1995 after the Rockies spent 2 years at Mile High. Place seats more than 50,000. It's the 2nd largest ballpark behind Dodger Stadium when you close off the parts of LAN AT COL in Oakland. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You know, when they were building this place, they found a dinosaur skull right on the site that they erected. Coors Field, estimated that skull was 66 million years old. How do they figure that out?
I don't know. And how do you trust the guy who gives you the number?
Yeah, 66, huh? Not 67 million, 66 million.
Plus or minus a couple million.
I mean, if you can do like plus or minus 10 or 20 million, it's impressive you're able to figure that out. Full count on Desmond, leading off the 8th against Chris Hatcher. Popped up down the right field line. Puig a long run. It's going to sink in. Bloop single for Ian Desmond to start the 8th.
Chris Hatcher's last outing, I think he gave up a hit like that, but he pitched real well. That was the only ball that he gave up a hit on, is a bloop single. So it's kind of Groundhog Day for him out there.
Now the mascot here at Coors Field is a dinosaur. Named him Dinger, but the reason that they have the dinosaur mascots, is that his mom, I think, on Mother's Day?
How old is she?
Oh my gosh, if he's 66 million,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to talk about ladies' age.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But yeah, she's 66 million. Runner at first and nobody out. It's Carlos Gonzalez. Strike one.
With the light now, I'm surprised they haven't turned the lights on.
Yeah, you're right.
It's actually going from glary and cloudy to like almost dark. Good for the Dodgers. They're on defense. To face Greg Holland in the 9th, you'd think they'd want the lights on.
Can you not turn them on mid-inning?
I don't think you can.
Similar to you can't close the roof at a place like Arizona mid-inning. So perhaps we'll see those turned on for the 9th.
I don't think the Rockies will want to turn them on. The crew chief will have to ask for it. That would be Bill Miller over at third base. Third base umpire would have to ask for him. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody on the Dodger bench, one of the coaches, has yelled at him, reminded him about that for the 9th.
One and one. 3 with the Giants coming up starting tomorrow. Game times 7:15 for the first 2, then 12:45 daytime baseball Wednesday. That should be fun. Kershaw and Cueto. McCarthy and Kane tomorrow, then Rich Hill and Ty Block on Tuesday. Giants will be riding a 3-game winning streak, their first of the season. Two and one. Grandal throws back to first. Desmond tripped over the tag, and first base umpire Todd Titchener took another look to make sure that the foot hadn't come off.
Snap throw down there to Chase. Chase understanding leaving the glove there might be a good idea. The toe come up. Take a look at the toe on the base if we can see it from this angle. Whoa. Depends on how long that spike is. They're going to take a look.
I think it's off right there.
Yeah.
So they are going to take a look. Trying to wipe that leadoff base runner off. I mentioned the Kershaw-Cueto matchup Wednesday. They faced off back on May 1st at Dodger Stadium. Cueto was brilliant. Kershaw lost that game. 4-3 was the final score.
Clayton will have some extra energy that we have seen between games and in game this year. Very active on the bench in between starts.
Maybe it's the altitude here.
Could be. Oh, I think that's got to be off of there.
And Desmond's going to argue that he was pushed off, but I think that it was baseball plays all around that led to the contact. He's out.
Chase was trying to keep the glove on him, so any leaning is just Chase's ability to, I've got to keep the tag on him because his foot might come off. It's not pushing off as much as it's just firmly continuing the tag. It's all in the eyes of the beholder, or what team you're rooting for.
So now Chris Hatcher can take a deep breath, go to work with the bases empty behind him. 2-1. 2-2. Taylor, Utley, and Puig due up for the Dodgers in the 9th inning. Trying to do what nobody's done so far. That is get to Greg Holland in a save situation. 15 of 15. That ties the franchise record to begin a season. Popped up in our direction. We'll do the 2-2 again. Ends a homestand for Colorado. They head to Minnesota to take on the Twins in an interleague series. Twins will come to Dodger Stadium in the second half. 3 in Minnesota, 3 in Cincinnati, 4 in Philadelphia, their longest trip of the year. So they pay the piper after 10-game homestand. That's your home 2-2 with ball 3. Ripped to right, a base hit. And now getting Desmond on the base paths looks that much more important.
Looking for a cool way to keep the sun out of your child's eyes? Bring them to Dodger Stadium at 1:10 on Sunday, May 21st, when the boys in blue face the Marlins. The first 12,000 kids 14 and under will receive their own set of Dodger sunglasses, compliments of New Balance. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Part of that upcoming 10-game homestand. Runner at first with 1 out. It's Pat Valaika. He had a 2-run home run earlier. Ball 1. Earned his nickname with that homer. Patty Barrels, they call him. Made his major league debut last September. And he's a starting shortstop on an everyday basis now because Trevor Story's on the DL. That's a high drive to deep left field. Bellinger back at the wall. That's a gut punch. His second 2-run home run. The Rockies take the 2 runs right back.
Before Cargo's single, the Dodgers were out hitting the Rockies. After this swing, the Rockies are out hitting the Dodgers. His second for the day, and this one hurts even more.
3 2-run homers today for Colorado. All the work the Dodgers did to rally for those 2 runs in the top of this inning. Momentum from that gone. 2-run homer against Hatcher. Pours in a strike on Garneau. So deflating when you work to get the runs back and then opposition puts them right back on the board.
The Dodgers built so many innings, left 8 runners on in the last 4 innings, only 2 scored. And then you have an inning where you pick somebody off, give up a single, and all of a sudden down by 3 again.
.25 hits total in this game, producing 15 runs. been feast or famine for the Rockies. They scored 10 runs in the opener, 2 runs in games 2 and 3 combined, and now 9 today. He gets Garneau 2 away.
A lot easier for Greg Holland to come out and try and get his 16th save in a row with a 3-run lead compared to a 1-run lead.
Raimel Tapia hits here. Called up this weekend. Still looking for his first hit this season in the majors, but was hitting around 400 in AAA. Bud Black says this is their best hitter in the system, prospect wise. Thatcher starts him with a strike. Drags it softly to second. Taylor will throw him out. And we go to the 9th inning. Rockies get a couple big runs back and lead 9-6 as Taylor, Utley, and Puig get ready to bat. In save opportunities this year, and a big part of the reason why the Rockies are unbeaten when leading through 8.
I don't know if this is a great risk, but boy, this is a great pitcher. And coming back from Tommy John, they stepped out and gave Greg a very nice offer, and it has paid off in a big way for these Colorado Rockies.
So Chris Taylor to lead off this inning against Holland. And he takes strike 1. Utley and Puig to follow, and the Dodgers have Barnes and Eibner on the bench at Dave Roberts' disposal. Back-to-back cutters for strikes, 0-2. Fouled off of the mask of Garneau. Stays at 0-2. Taylor had an infield single his last time up. Battling through a 4 for 25 skid right now. Good take, ball one.
All you can do is grind it out. You know you're down by 3 now, and it doesn't feel that good, but grind it out and see if you can set the table.
On 1-2, Holland to Chris Taylor. This is low. The count evens up. Dodgers led this game 2-0 after a half inning on a Corey Seager home run. Rockies responded with 3 in the bottom of the first. Dodgers retook it. Single runs in the second and the third, but then 2 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, 2 in the eighth from Colorado, all on 2-run homers. 3-2 after Taylor had fallen behind 0-2. Here's the payoff. And he got it.
(0-2 to 3-2), and then just a little bit out of the strike zone there. Chris Taylor would like to have that one back. Very good discipline to get the 3-2, just couldn't hold it together.
So 1 out, and it's Utley. One for 4 in this one, 8 for his last 15 with a pair of walks. Trying to get something started in the ninth. Started him with a breaking ball and found it, strike one. One and one. So 15 for 15 to start his time is matching a franchise record to begin a season for Greg Holland. Franchise record overall, 26 consecutive saves from Houston Street. Did that in 09. And that has been a big part of the problem for the Rockies, the back end of games, trying to find someone they can rely on like they did Street. Holland's 1-1. In there on a fastball, and it's 1-2.
Chase doing anything he can to figure out a way to get on. He looked like, to me, he was going to take until 2 strikes, just see if Holland wanted to walk him. Swinging the bat real well right now, seeing the ball real well, so not afraid to hit with 2 strikes.
Down to their last out.
%50 of your at-bats in the big leagues, and Chase has had a long big league career, are with 2 strikes. You can't be afraid of that count because you're going to hit in it an awful lot.
It's been a good day for Puig, who had the day off yesterday. Had a home run his first time up, had a bullet of his single last inning. Holland's first one. Sweeps inside, ball one. Puig not impressed. Impressive to him, 94 with a fastball.
Not the hardest thrower coming out of their bullpen, but probably the best pitcher. 2 good off-speed pitches to match up with that 94.
Another fastball, and the Dodgers down to their final strike now. 10-7 Colorado in the opener. 6-2 Dodgers, 4-0 Dodgers in games 2 and 3. But the Rockies riding the long ball in this one. So they won a 5-game stretch without hitting a home run. Going with another fastball. Puig protecting. Got it. The Dodgers settle for a split with the Rockies, dropping this one today 9-6.
Regroup on the flight to San Francisco. Try and take 2 out of 3 at least there, and you still have a winning road trip.
Our Lexus player of the game, Pat Valaika, hits a pair of 2-run home runs. And Trevor Story's place at shortstop in the lineup. The Rockies leading the division back to a game and a half as they move to 24-15, and the Dodgers fall to 22-16. For Earl Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and the rest of our crew in Denver, Joe Davis saying so long and talk to you from San Francisco. 7:15 first pitch tomorrow. Right now it's Access Sportsnet, brought to you by your Southern California Nissan dealers.